Welcome to Sir Ike TV. I am Enrique Bolac. Uh, Tonight, I would like to give you or to share to you the newly opened or the opening of a multi-billion or 7 billion worth of production complex lithium iron phosphate battery production. So that is in um, Clark Clark City, Pampanga. Okay, so uh, ito ay sa malaking halaga nito, 7 billion. So inaasahan na this will be producing or creating many Filipinos na ma-employ dito sa company na to, sa production na to. So itong lithium iron phosphate na gagawing source ng battery nila, ito din tong katulad ng sa research ko, ito din yung klase ng technology na gamit sa mga battery ng Tesla na pagmay-ari ni Elon Musk. Si Elon Musk, alam na siguro natin na ninyo, no, na he is the richest man in the world. Siya yung may-ari ng SpaceX. Okay? So, pero sa research ko, hindi to connected. The Tesla lithium iron phosphate na technology in for producing batteries not related to the Cent B Gigafactory. So, ang kiniklaim nitong Cent B Gigafactory ay ang range nila ay double than that of the so kiniklaim nila yung sabihin mas mataas sila, mas better ang quality nila, ay yun ang kiniklaim nila. Okay, so pakinggan natin ang speeches ng CEO nitong SB Gigafactory. So this is an Australian company, so dito nagtayo sa Pilipinas. Ito yung bunga ng pagpunta ni PBB para mag-alok ng investment doon sa Australia, na nag-signing of Memorandum of Understanding nung March lang this year. Tas ngayon ay ito na, operational na yung production company nila, no, o factory. Okay, so kaya masaya si PBM dahil ang bilis na itayo, kapangako lang at naitayo kaagad. So it is not possible if without the support sa lahat ng mga involving agency sa Pilipinas at sa Australia. Okay, kaya it is a sign that our government is working. Okay, so panoorin natin ang speeches or mga salita ng CEO ng STB o Cent B Gigafactory from Australia, and yung Australian ambassador to the Philippines, and yung masayang talumpati ng ating mahal na Pangulong Bongbong Marcos. Pakinggan natin at sana'y tangkalikin niyo ang YouTube channel ko. Thank you.
Promote the setup and use of green hydrogen fuel storage in the Philippines, and AMSL Aero later this week expects to execute an agreement with BCDA here in New Clark City for another possible factory investment in the innovation zone here at New Clark City. I might say finally that I've heard President say many times that the common language and multicultural makeup and democratic electoral systems of our two countries and similar time zones should make bilateral trade investment between the Philippines and Australia as easy as it can get. And that has been our experience as we now employ 40 Philippine managers, technicians and manufacturing line workers, which will more than triple by next year as we expand some B gigabattery manufacturing towards its 2 gigawatt hour battery storage capability. And without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce our Australian Ambassador, Her Excellency HKU, who together with other Australian embassy personnel have also helped to make our undertaking of business here in this country easier than in other countries. So welcome, Excellency HK.
Your Excellency, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., the President of the Republic of the Philippines, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, magandang tanghali sa inyong lahat. First, I would like to start by congratulating Sen Baker, a proud Australian firm who has stood up Sen B Gigafactory in record time. I'm sure many of you will remember it was only just over 6 months ago that we had the pleasure of citing the signing of the MOU, which of course none other than President Marcos actually provided as witness. And here we are. How fantastic is this? I would say that today we are witnessing our strategic partnership in action. Our two countries are working very closely together, not just government to government, but business to business and people to people, to together create a world that we both want to live in. One that is peaceful, stable, and prosperous. Not just for us now, but for our future generations as well. And this Sen B Gigafactory is a fantastic example of how governments and businesses can work together to tackle even the biggest challenge the world is facing right now, climate change. And while doing so, contribute to the prosperity of both our countries. How amazing is that? How amazing is that? This is exactly what we want. So together, Australia and the Philippines, we are making important strides towards the world of our dreams. And I believe that with Mr. President, your staunch support for our bilateral relationship, we will all be inspired and energized to keep this work going, to work together, to create the world that not only we deserve, but our future generations deserve. So thank you so much for having me here. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay. Thank you.
Mabuhay. Maraming salamat. Thank you, Ambassador Yu and Chairman St. Baker. At this point, may we call on the Department of Trade and Industry Acting Secretary, Cristina Olinger Roque, to introduce our guest of honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Thank you to the DPI Secretary, Chris Roque. Please, Chris. Australian Ambassador to the Philippines, Her Excellency He Kyung Yu. The St. B Gigafactory Incorporated Chairman, Trevor Baker. The Basis Conversion Development Authority Chairman, Thompson Lanchon. Capas Tarlac City Mayor, Rosela Rodriguez. The Philinvest Development Corporation Vice Chairman, Lourdes Josephine Gotianum Yap. St. B Gigafactory Incorporated officials, fellow workers in government, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. If you will notice, you will not, I have this silly grin on my face, and that is because this is really a very, very exciting day for us. And we have worked very hard and tried to do our best to bring this kind of technology to the Philippines with a clear recognition that this is the future. And today we see that. The future, we take a big step into the future. So now we are, as you say, entering a new age where the battery technology has taken, is front and center in all that we are trying to do. When the term lithium iron phosphate came out, well, we thought this is another complicated technology, and perhaps it belongs in very sophisticated operations such as space travel and the like. However, that now is completely different because we have that technology now here in the Philippines, and this promises to be a first step in all that we are hoping to do, not only to help create jobs for Filipinos, not only to bring a transfer of technology to the Philippines, but also because we now are able to do a very solid and serious step in mitigating and adapting to climate change. This is something perhaps that we would hear, perhaps when we first heard this is something that just a scientist would be using. These are terms that only scientists would be using, but no longer, because we are now in the middle of a technological storm. We may not be launching rockets just yet, but despite the weather's best attempts, we are stepping boldly into the future. A future that is sustainable, innovative, and transformative. This inauguration of the St. B Giga Factory is a remarkable example of what happens when our national agenda of promoting clean energy intersects with a solid commitment from the private sector. Your Excellency, Ambassador, you hit the nail on the head there. This is the best example that we can show, not only because we have finally brought it to fruition, but we brought it to fruition in what I consider to be record time. In fact, this development is among the pledges that we received during the Philippine Business Forum in Australia, Melbourne, last March, in Canberra. 6 months later, we are witnessing how this pledge has come into reality. I cannot overstate the importance of this investment, hence the silly grin on my face. It sends this message to the world. The Philippines is now ready to innovate, to lead, to become the go-to destination for high-tech, high-impact investments. As the first manufacturing plant in the Philippines for advanced iron phosphate batteries, often used in renewable energy and electrical vehicles, the St. B Gigafactory sets the stage for the Philippines to become a player in clean storage and in clean energy storage in our part of the world, in Southeast Asia, in our region. Looking towards the future, when this factory reaches full capacity, it's expected to channel 5 billion pesos into the economy annually. It will create 2,500 jobs for Filipinos. And these are not just regular jobs. These are very important high-tech jobs, which is where these are the quality jobs that we would like to bring to our countrymen. So from engineers and technicians to administrative personnel, it is about nurturing homegrown talent and offering opportunities that match the ambitions right here on our own soil. When St. B Giga hits full capacity by 2030, it will be producing 2 gigawatt hours of batteries annually. This is the equivalent to around 18,000 electric vehicles, almost 500,000 home battery systems. This facility runs in tandem with the Philippines' renewable energy landscape as we transition our country to renewable energy. Your products could help entice more investors in renewable energy facilities in the country. The upstream and the downstream businesses that will come from this are just going to be tremendous. We also welcome St. B Giga's plan to enter the EV product market in the coming years. This certainly aligns with our plans to develop the country's EV industry and produce locally made EVs and EV components, reducing our reliance on imported fuel. To promote local engineering talent, And this is another very exciting aspect to what we have opened here today. St. B. Giga also has committed to set up partnerships with Philippine academic and industry institutions. We hear very much in this day and age about the transition into the digital space, the transition into high-tech industries. And the key to the success of that transition is, the buzzwords now are reskilling and upskilling. And that is why we hold very much important to the training that will be received by our by local Filipinos, and who will be able to take that new skills, the new knowledge, and bring it to operations such as this. With renewable energy sources, and while they were once, and EVs were once seen as just options, they must now be our path forward to adapt and to mitigate the effects of climate change. Every step that we make towards sustainable energy development is an investment in a brighter, healthier future for our children, for our country. To the entire team behind the St. B. Giga Factory, thank you for taking this leap of faith with us. You have established a foundation for a cleaner, greener, and more prosperous bagong Pilipinas. And to the rest of us, I will say, don't blink. Change is happening faster than you think, even when faced with challenges like Typhoon Julian. While we are here discussing innovation, the government is working behind the scenes. Thousands of family food packs are now being prepared. Healthcare centers are on high alert, and our farmers and fisher folk are taking steps to safeguard their livelihoods. The Typhoon Julian is going to pass north of the Philippines, so those in regions 1, 2, and 3, as well as NCR and CAR, know that we are not just talking about resilience. We are making it happen. So if you are an entrepreneur, a startup, an industry leader wondering where to place your next big bet, look no further. We have the talent, certainly the determination, and now the infrastructure to make your boldest ideas a reality, even if the weather tries to say otherwise. Let us remember, while we are doing this, beyond the figures and the projections and the technology, it comes down to our shared responsibility to our environment and to the next generation. Once again, congratulations to everyone who has been involved, both in the private sector and in the public sector, in making this a reality. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat, at sama-sama nating isulong ang isang mas matatag na bagong Pilipinas. Magandang tanghali po sa inyong lahat.
Maraming salamat, mahal na Pangulo.